Welcome to Colorado Inside Out Postgame, a special web-exclusive production, thank goodness, here on Channel 12. Let's get a quick take on the Colorado Department of Education releasing 2014's TCAP results this week. There was a slight decline in reading, math, and writing proficiency among Colorado students, but the results remain consistent in comparison to the last few years. Alicia Caldwell from the editorial page of the Denver Post. Much of the news wasn't so much on the exact results, but the fact that even though we're supposed to be on the leading edge of education reform, more improvement is not happening. What do you make of the story?
Well, and we are in many respects Colorado is at the leading edge of education reform. But if you think about what those pieces are, while we've had the political battles to put them in place, they haven't really taken effect yet. For instance, what's commonly called Senate Bill 191, which is a change in how teachers are evaluated and tenure is bestowed on teachers, that's still in the formulation phase. It has not taken effect yet. We haven't seen any plus or minus from that. The Common Core, another big political fight that seems to keep coming back, hasn't taken effect yet either. That goes into effect next year with the new PARCC tests, they're called. So while we feel like we've already done it, we haven't actually put it into place yet. Now, insofar as the scores themselves go, if you look at them, there are some bright spots and not so bright spots that I think are telling in different ways about the reforms that have been undertaken. For instance, DSST, the Denver School of Science and Technology, has shown some phenomenal results, even as they've expanded the number of schools. I think they have 7 middle and 7 high schools now, or will at the end of next year. And they've done a great job in their milieu. And it is a very specific mission and structure that is fantastic, but I don't think is one that could reasonably be replicated onto a whole school system. Adams 50, with its structure of putting kids together by competency levels, has shown some real success as well. So I think it's not quite so bleak or as depressing maybe as a flat score might say.
Pat Cahoon from Westward, do you think Coloradans, or at least parents, are expecting faster progress? I mean, Alicia makes a good point about not a lot of the reforms are in place, but we've heard of, before this, we had a different kind of test, but it's the same. We've had tests like this for a while. What do you think?
Well, yeah, no one is patient with this, of course, especially when their kids are involved, because they want better for their kids. It was interesting that the announcement was delayed 2 days on this, and you were kind of wondering, were they figuring out a better way to make it look good? And as Alicia says, there are some really bright spots like DSST, but overall, it's very disappointing that Colorado is not doing better.
John Caldera, president of the Independence Institute, joins us this week. You're a parent, kids in school here. What do you make of the? Are you expecting better results when you see these scores?
No. Why would we? We keep doing the same thing over and over. We keep throwing more money at a broken system. I think we over-test our kids, and I think we're teaching to a test that might not be the best test. But let's take a larger look at this. We're frustrated, so planners do what government planners do. They get this spiraling command and control of, we're going to tweak this and we're going to tweak this, we're going to have this mandate and that mandate. And so we've got our teachers running around filling these mandates going, instead of doing the opposite, which is breaking those mandates and giving some real choice to parents so that they can find schools that work for them. Bring in, whether it's tuition tax credits, easier ways to get charter schools, or heaven forbid, some sort of voucher system to release people so that they can go to a school of their choosing, and simplify this so parents are the ones more in control of their kids' education choices and not the planners.
Eric Sonderman, political analyst. And while there's been some bright spots here, if the scores somewhat remain the same, does that do much for last year? It was a big year for education reform, both in Douglas County and in Jefferson County. Does that change that political discussion, or is patience just simply needed here?
It probably only intensifies the political discussion. I'm always fascinated. You do polls and you get these great headlines about how voters think education is the #1 issue. That tells you absolutely nothing. Of course, it's a highly ranked, highly important issue, but you get people who think the whole answer is more money answering that it's the most important issue. At the same point, you get people who are on the other side of the debate thinking that money is not necessarily the answer. It's deregulation, it's vouchers, it's choice, and they're also answering yes to that question. So everyone has a different prescription here. The good news and bad news is Colorado is regarded as a very reform-friendly state. We're trying new things. The bad news is we're still seeing flat results. Yes, there are bright spots in those results, but overall they're flat. In this case, maybe even a little worse than flat, a little trending downward. But even if there wasn't a downward trend, even if it was just flat, or even if it was a 1-point improvement, that is not near enough to get where you need to go. You need quantum leaps in order to serve these populations who our school system is totally failing. I could go on. I mean, this is an issue of my passion, go on forever. I'll leave it there, but more to come. I do think these flat scores will cause a lot of discussion. Whether the discussion turns out to be fruitful or just talk, we'll see.
That's all the time we have for Colorado Inside Out postgame this week. Leave us a comment and tell us what you think. For everyone here at CPT12.org, I'm Dominic Dezzutti. Thanks for watching.